The little girl's hands were red from the cold, her thin fingers sifting through the dumpster behind Wilson's grocery as snowflakes caught in her tangled hair. She couldn't have been more than 7 years old. Mark Donovan stood frozen on the sidewalk, his own daughter's Christmas present clutched in his hand, as he watched the child pull something from the trash and carefully tuck it inside her tattered coat. In that moment, he had no idea that this chance encounter would change both their lives forever, and reveal a truth so powerful it would bring a grown man to his knees. If this story touches your heart, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing to our channel. Your support helps us share more stories that remind us of our shared humanity and the unexpected connections that can transform lives when we least expect it. Mark Donovan checked his watch for the third time in 5 minutes. The line at Wilson's grocery wasn't moving, and he still had to pick up Lily from her after-school program before they closed at 6. Being a single dad was a constant juggling act, but on Christmas Eve, it felt like he was juggling flaming torches while walking a tightrope. "Sorry folks, Register 3 is having technical difficulties," announced a harried-looking cashier. "We're moving as fast as we can." Mark sighed, shifting his weight from one foot to the other. At 38, he still had the athletic build from his college basketball days, though the circles under his eyes told the story of 4 years of solo parenting. His wife Sarah's battle with cancer had been brief and brutal, leaving him alone with their daughter just after Lily's 6th birthday. The checkout line inched forward. Mark glanced down at the shopping basket containing the last items for tomorrow's Christmas dinner and, most importantly, the final gift for Lily, a silver charm bracelet with a heart pendant that matched one Sarah had worn. He'd been saving it for when Lily was old enough, and at 10, she'd started asking more questions about her mother. It felt like the right time. When Mark finally paid and stepped out into the bitter December cold, fat snowflakes were falling steadily. The street was bathed in the warm glow of Christmas lights, and carols drifted from the storefronts. For a moment, he felt a pang of something like happiness, a feeling that had become unfamiliar in the years since Sarah died. That's when he saw her. Behind the grocery store, partially hidden by the dumpster, a small figure in a coat too thin for the weather was methodically going through the trash. Mark slowed his pace, then stopped altogether. It was a child, a little girl with dark hair, carefully examining something she'd pulled from the garbage. Mark hesitated. He was already running late, and getting involved with a stranger's child seemed risky in today's world. But something about her determined movements, the careful way she handled whatever she'd found, made it impossible for him to walk away. "Hey there," he called softly, approaching slowly so as not to frighten her. "Are you okay?" The girl startled, nearly dropping her find, a slightly dented box of Christmas ornaments that had been discarded. She clutched it to her chest and regarded Mark with wary eyes that seemed too old for her young face. "I'm not stealing," she said immediately, her voice small but defiant. "Mr. Wilson said I could take things from the trash if I wanted." Mark nodded, keeping a respectful distance. "That's good. I just wanted to make sure you're all right. It's pretty cold out here. Where are your parents?" The girl's eyes darted to the side. "My mom's at work. She works a lot." Something in her expression made Mark's heart twist. He recognized that look, the one that said she was carrying burdens no child should have to bear. "My name's Mark," he offered. "What's yours?" After a moment's hesitation, she answered, "Elena." "That's a pretty name." "Listen, Elena, it's Christmas Eve and it's getting really cold. Do you need help getting home?" Elena shook her head firmly. "I know the way. I just needed to find something first." She held up the box of ornaments. "Our tree doesn't have any decorations." The simple statement hit Mark like a physical blow. He thought of his own home, where he and Lily had spent the previous weekend decorating their tree with ornaments collected over years, including the ones Sarah had cherished. "Where do you live, Elena?" he asked gently. "Parkview Apartments," she answered, naming a rundown complex about 6 blocks away. Mark knew the place. It had been slated for demolition for years, but somehow continued to house families who couldn't afford anything better. The kind of place where heat was unreliable and maintenance requests went unanswered. "That's quite a walk in this snow," Mark said. "Would you like a ride? I promise I'm not a stranger danger person. I have a daughter about your age. I need to pick her up right now, actually. You could meet her." Elena studied him with that unnervingly adult gaze. "My mom says never to go with strangers." "Your mom is absolutely right," Mark agreed. "How about this, you can use my phone to call her and ask if it's okay. Or we could walk to where she works, if it's close by." Elena's face fell. "She works at the hospital. The big one downtown. She's a cleaner there. She won't be home until really late." Mark felt a chill that had nothing to do with the December air. "Are you home alone tonight?" Elena shrugged, as if this was perfectly normal. "I'm 7.5. I can take care of myself." 7.5. Alone on Christmas Eve. Mark made a decision that would alter the course of multiple lives. "Elena, I need to pick up my daughter from her after-school program. Would you like to come with me? Then maybe we could figure out what to do next. Maybe call your mom from there." After a long moment, Elena nodded. "Okay. But I'm keeping these." She clutched the ornament box tighter. "Of course," Mark said. "Those are yours now." When they arrived at Bright Horizons After-School Center, Mark was relieved to find they hadn't closed yet, though Ms. Jenkins gave him a pointed look at his tardiness. "Sorry," he mouthed, as Lily came bounding over, her dark curls bouncing, so like her mother's that sometimes it made his chest ache. "Dad! You're late," she accused, though without real anger. Then her eyes landed on Elena, who was half hiding behind Mark. "Who's that?" "This is Elena," Mark said. "I met her while I was shopping, and she needs some help getting home. I thought we could give her a ride." Lily, with the directness of children, simply nodded and extended her hand. "I'm Lily. I'm 10. Do you want to see the Christmas village I made in art class today?" Just like that, the ice was broken. While Mark spoke quietly with Ms. Jenkins, explaining the situation and getting her advice, the girls examined Lily's clay creation, a miniature town with tiny houses dusted with glitter snow. "It's beautiful," Elena whispered, touching one of the houses with reverent fingers. "You can hold it if you want," Lily offered generously. "Dad's going to put it under our tree when we get home." Elena carefully cradled the village in her small hands. "We have a tree, but it doesn't have any decorations. That's why I was looking for some." Lily looked horrified at the concept of an undecorated Christmas tree. "Dad! Elena's tree doesn't have any decorations." Mark, who had just finished speaking with Ms. Jenkins and the center director, came over. "I heard. That's why Elena has that box of ornaments she found." "But that's just one box," Lily protested. "Our tree has, like, 1,000,000 ornaments." Mark smiled at his daughter's exaggeration but understood her concern. "Well, we should probably get Elena home. Her mom might be worried." "My mom won't be home until midnight," Elena said matter-of-factly. "She's cleaning the hospital." Lily looked at her father with wide eyes, silently communicating in that way they'd developed since Sarah died. Mark nodded slightly, understanding her unspoken question. "Elena," he said gently, "would you like to come have dinner with us? We could call your mom from our house to make sure it's okay. And maybe—" he glanced at Lily, who was practically vibrating with excitement, "maybe we could share some of our extra ornaments for your tree." Elena's eyes widened. "Really? You would give me some?" "Of course." Lily exclaimed. "We have way too many. Mom always said," she stopped suddenly, her expression clouding. Mark put his arm around his daughter's shoulders. "Your mom always said Christmas decorations should be shared, just like joy," he finished softly. Elena looked between them. "Where is your mom?" she asked Lily. "She died," Lily answered simply. "When I was 6. She got really sick." Elena nodded with solemn understanding. "My dad died too. When I was 4. He got hurt at his job." The two girls regarded each other with the unique recognition that can only exist between children who have experienced profound loss, a club no child should have to join. "So it's just you and your mom?" Mark asked gently. Elena nodded. "And sometimes my aunt, but she moved away last month. That's why Mom has to work so much now." Mark made another decision. "Let's call your mom from the car, okay? I think we should invite both of you for Christmas dinner tomorrow." Reaching Elena's mother proved challenging. The hospital wouldn't put Mark through to the cleaning staff, and Elena only knew her mother's supervisor's first name. Eventually, Elena remembered her mother's cell phone number, but the call went straight to voicemail. "She has to keep it off while working," Elena explained. "But she checks messages on her breaks." Mark left a detailed message, explaining who he was, how he'd met Elena, and providing his full name, address, and phone number. He invited both Elena and her mother for Christmas dinner and assured her that Elena was safe and welcome in his home for as long as needed. "I'll keep trying," he promised Elena as they pulled into his driveway. "And if your mom calls back and wants to pick you up right away, I'll drive you home immediately." Their modest two-story house was warmly lit, with a wreath on the door and simple white lights outlining the roof and windows. Inside, the Christmas tree stood in the front window, adorned with a collection of ornaments that told the story of their family, handmade crafts from Lily's school years, delicate glass balls that had belonged to Sarah's grandmother, and the special ornaments Mark and Sarah had bought together each year of their marriage. Elena stood in the entryway, her eyes wide as she took in the scene. "It's like a Christmas movie," she whispered. Lily giggled. "It's just our house. Come on, I'll show you my room." While the girls disappeared upstairs, Mark moved quickly through the kitchen, grateful he'd planned a simple dinner of homemade macaroni and cheese, Lily's favorite comfort food. He added extra cheese to the sauce and put together a salad, his mind racing with questions and concerns about Elena's situation. When dinner was ready, he called the girls down. They appeared with Lily's stuffed animals arranged in Elena's arms, both of them giggling about something. "I hope you like mac and cheese, Elena," Mark said, setting the steaming casserole dish on the table. "It's my favorite," she replied, climbing onto a chair. Then, as if remembering something important, she carefully set down the stuffed animals and folded her hands in her lap. "Thank you for inviting me to dinner, Mr. Donovan." The formal politeness from such a young child struck Mark again. This was a child who had grown up too quickly. During dinner, Elena gradually relaxed, especially with Lily chattering away about school, friends, and Christmas wishes. Mark learned that Elena was in second grade at Lincoln Elementary, that her favorite subject was art, and that she wanted to be a doctor someday, to help people like my dad. "What happened to your dad?" Mark asked gently. "He was building a big building, and something fell," Elena said, her fork pausing midway to her mouth. "Mom says he was a hero because he pushed his friend out of the way." Construction accident, Mark thought. The kind of tragedy that devastated families and often left them financially ruined as well. "He sounds like he was very brave," Mark said. Elena nodded. "Mom has his picture by her bed. She kisses it every night." After dinner, Lily couldn't contain her excitement any longer. "Can we share the ornaments now, Dad? Please?" Mark smiled. "Let's clear the table first, and then we can look through the ornaments in the attic. I think we have some extras up there." The girls helped clear the dishes, and then they all went up to the attic. Mark pulled the chain on the single bulb that illuminated the space, revealing cardboard boxes labeled in Sarah's neat handwriting, "Christmas, extra decorations." "Your mom was always so organized," Mark told Lily, running his hand over the familiar script. Even after 4 years, these small reminders could still take his breath away. They opened the boxes to find several sets of ornaments that Sarah had collected over the years, some vintage glass balls, a set of wooden nutcrackers, and a collection of silver snowflakes that caught the light. "These are beautiful," Elena breathed, carefully touching one of the snowflakes. "Mom bought these the year before she got sick," Lily explained. She said they reminded her of the first Christmas she and Dad spent together, when it snowed so much they couldn't leave the house. Mark remembered that Christmas vividly, their first as a married couple, snowed in at their tiny apartment, making love as the snow piled up outside, then building a fort of blankets and watching old movies until dawn. "Your mom had excellent taste," he said, his voice slightly rough. "I think she would want Elena to have these snowflakes for her tree." Lily nodded solemnly. She would definitely want that. They carefully packed up the snowflakes, along with a set of colorful glass balls and some handmade ornaments that Lily insisted on sharing. By the time they were finished, they had filled a large shopping bag with decorations. "This is too much," Elena protested, though her eyes shone with delight. "Christmas is about giving," Mark said firmly. "And these decorations deserve to be enjoyed." As they came downstairs, Mark's phone rang. It was a number he didn't recognize. "Hello? Is this Mark Donovan?" The woman's voice was tense, exhausted, with a slight accent he couldn't place. "Yes, it is. This is Lucia Vasquez, Elena's mother. I got your message. Is my daughter okay?" "She's fine, Ms. Vasquez. She's right here with us," Mark assured her quickly. "Would you like to speak with her?" "Yes, please." Mark handed the phone to Elena. "It's your mom, sweetheart." Elena's face lit up. "Mama?" "Yes, I'm okay. Mr. Donovan is really nice, and his daughter Lily is my friend now. They gave me ornaments for our tree." She listened for a moment. "Okay. I will." She handed the phone back to Mark. "Mr. Donovan, I don't know how to thank you," Lucia said, her voice thick with emotion. "I was so worried when I couldn't reach our neighbor who usually checks on Elena. My supervisor wouldn't let me leave early, even though it's Christmas Eve. Please, call me Mark. And there's no need to thank me. Elena is a wonderful girl. We've enjoyed having her." He hesitated, then added, "I meant what I said in my message. We'd love to have both of you for Christmas dinner tomorrow, if you're free." There was a pause on the other end of the line. "That's very kind, but I couldn't impose." "It's not an imposition at all," Mark insisted. "It's just Lily and me, and we always make too much food. Please consider it." Another pause. "What time?" "How about 2 o'clock? That would give us plenty of time to enjoy the meal and still have the evening for you and Elena to have your own Christmas." 2 o'clock, Lucia repeated. "Thank you. I finish my shift at midnight, but I won't be able to pick up Elena until morning. The buses don't run late on Christmas Eve." Mark understood the unspoken question. "Elena is welcome to stay the night here. Lily would love a sleepover, and we have a comfortable guest room." The relief in Lucia's voice was palpable. "Are you sure? I can try to find a taxi, but they're so expensive." "I'm absolutely sure," Mark said firmly. "Elena will be safe here, and you can pick her up in the morning, or I can bring her home, whatever works best for you." After they worked out the details, Mark handed the phone back to Elena so she could say goodnight to her mother. When the call ended, Elena looked up at Mark with those serious eyes.